Gary Johnson here for the Thought Brothers. This interview with singer Beth is one of the best that we've done. Why do I say that? Because this talented singer and entertainer delivered a mini masterclass. And if you watch and listen carefully, you're going to get some insights that you can personally take away on how to manage the challenges and embrace the opportunities in your life. Enjoy. Welcome to the Thought Brothers. I'm Gary Johnson. Today is March 27th. Hey, we got a different format today. That's right. You see somebody that you haven't seen. We got a different person. We have singer Beth with us today. And you all know the rest of the Thought Brothers. Bill, we call him the agitator, but he's also the investigator. He's the interpreter. Then we got the financial analyst, Carlos. Carlos, you look like you're on special assignment. I do see something that looks like it says Alaska back there. Okay, so all right, that explains the hoodie. And we got CJ sitting in his executive office over there. All right, so Beth, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about you, and then we're gonna kick it off, because not everybody, we can't assume everybody knows about you, but I do watch The Voice, and so I'll just put it like that.
Okay, well, I'm happy to be here and thank you for having me on your show. My name is Beth. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, born and raised, and I still reside here. I am the proud daughter of Motown funk brother Johnny Griffith. I'm repping my Motown hat.
Funk brothers, the funk brothers.
Yes. I miss my dad so very much. I'm a proud daughter of him, and I am a singer, songwriter, actress, and to date, I am enjoying and loving my life because I'm pursuing and actively working in what has been a dream of mine, to be able to sing and to travel and to tour and to record music. So to date, I have 2 albums out, 8 singles, and I'm really proud of the work that I've done with my team as an independent artist. And I'm looking forward to the future to record and release more music. So yeah, that's a good start, I think.
That's a great start. Oh man, the Funk Brothers, that documentary, the Funk Brothers, legend.
You're standing in the shadows.
Standing in the shadows. Yes, yeah. Indeed. Mm-hmm. Hey, Carlos, you're the furthest away. Why don't you kick it off?
Well, hey guys, great to see everybody, Mr. Spivey, CJ, Gary, and Beth. Welcome to the show. When we think about our children and raising our children, sometimes our children don't want to go into the same career fields that we've chosen. Okay. So can you maybe tell us a little bit about, obviously we know why, but what made you stick with it? And did you have any other aspirations besides being a singer and songwriter? Would love to know about that.
Okay. That's a great question. And this is, I think, my first time talking to someone in Alaska. You're not from Alaska, but you're in Alaska. So yeah, that's a great question. So honestly, growing up, I always loved music. That was something that I naturally gravitated to. I have a brother and I have a sister, and they love music, but did not choose to pursue it as a career. So I naturally gravitated to it. And I know that it's natural because a lot of times, because people know that my father worked for Motown and he was a funk brother, they often ask me, what was it like growing up in the Motown era? And I'm like, I didn't. They were gone before I was born. So they're like, what was it like with Diana Ross? I'm like, I have no idea. I wasn't here. So, what I'm saying? The Motown had left. They had dispatched and gone to California. I was born when I was born, I just naturally gravitated to music. That was something that I naturally loved. So I knew it was not an influence of mine. It was not an influence that made me do it. I naturally gravitated to it. And so my parents were really shocked because my brother and sister didn't do it, and they really pushed me to go to college to get my education and to probably go into corporate America or medicine, something like that. So of course, as a kid, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a doctor or a lawyer. I'm gonna go to school. My father, because Motown was gone, he still was actively playing his music for different artists, but he never talked about Motown. So honestly, I didn't even know my dad worked for Motown. I had no idea. But I would get around family members and it was always a whisper or a talk. Oh, you know, Johnny worked for Motown. And I heard it, but it didn't pay me. I didn't pay it any attention because again, that wasn't my time. And I actually found out what my dad really did when the movie came out, Standing in the Shadows of Motown, and my father had passed away. I had to go back and do research on what he had done. And I was really ashamed that I didn't know. But part of it was that he didn't want me to follow in this business. And so when you ask what made me do this, this is something I naturally inherited. Music, singing, performing, being on a stage is just something that I can't live without, or I choose not to live without, because it's just so natural for me to do it. And I love it. I don't mind practicing every day. I don't mind working hard at it. One of the reasons why I have this cap on it, because my hair is not even in the type of state that y'all even need to see this, because I go to the gym every day and I'm rehearsing every day. And when I'm off, I'm putting my time into perfecting my performance and perfecting my show. So, you know, I really just love this with my whole heart. And my parents, you know, my father, before he passed away, he was like, wow, this is naturally you. Like, this is you. And my mother was like, oh God, she's going to be doing this till the day she dies. I mean, they just knew it. So nobody influenced me, you know, in my household. I just grew up and was like, oh, I'm gonna be a singer, you know, so yeah.
Well, Beth, outstanding. And, you know, just to give you a heads up, I'm originally born in Washington, D.C. I live in Maryland right now, just outside of Washington, D.C. in Prince George's County, Maryland. So we're coming home soon. But, you know, thank you for being my first and probably only interview from Alaska that I'll ever have. So pretty exciting. You know, we're worldwide. The Thought Brothers are worldwide here. And I'll turn it over. Thank you. Thank you for answering that question. It was awesome.
That was a great question. Thank you.
You're welcome.
CJ, you're a musician. Does anything that Beth says ring true about the practice, the grinding? What do you got?
Yeah. I thought that was very interesting. A lot of people who want to play music don't really understand the work ethic it takes to get to a level that you're at. Like I've seen like the credentials, some of the background singers that jobs that you've gotten for big time artists, your work on The Voice, just your work as an independent artist in general. Like, can you go a little bit deeper into, you know, what that work looks like? Like, so that dedication, you mentioned it. It's more than just practice, but the gym, you know, getting your actual routine and, you know, the vision for your music and your songwriting and things like that.
It's a lifestyle, actually. I think it first starts out as something you want to do. It's a dream, it's an aspiration. And, you know, I try to give back at this point in my career and mentor other artists that are up and coming and that I have more experience than they have. And I try to just talk them through where they're at this time. And a lot of times when I let them know what my day is like or what it's like for me to prepare for a show, they kind of go, what? Like, they feel like, oh, you call me to sing and the band either starts playing or somebody pushes a button for my track and I'm gonna just grab the mic and start singing. And I'm like, no. It's so much more work than that. Your mind has to be conditioned. Your body has to be conditioned. It's down to picking wardrobe, what you're gonna wear that's comfortable for you enough to be able to perform. Are your vocals warmed up? Have you practiced the song? A lot of times artists go in the studio and they record a record, and then when it comes for them to perform it live, they can't. That's why a lot of times you go to a show and you're like, well, why didn't they sing my favorite song? They can't. You got to go play the record because they recorded it probably in another key, or it's the song that's not comfortable for them to perform. And it just takes so much work. And really, I lean more so towards the mindset of what you have to do this. You're standing on that stage and you've got a couple thousand people looking for you to pour into them. That's a big job. So you have to really practice and have your mind in a place where you know there's going to be these people pulling from you, and pulling from your energy and pulling from your talent. And you have to prepare for that. It's a lot.
Okay.
But
I love
you.
You know, Beth, I'll say this to you. Gladys Knight is one of my most favorite singers. When Gladys sings, it's like she's talking to you. And she has an album, a song called The End of the Road. And she does the song with Boyz II Men.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember her lead in on that song years ago. She said she didn't know where the music was going. And she said she was driving down the road one day and she heard Boyz II Men. And she said she had to pull over. And she said, wow, it's coming back. And she said how shocked she was. I have to tell you, I didn't know a lot about you. But as Gary says, I do my homework and my research. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly the way I felt when I found out and started listening to your music. It was like, wow. Because, to me, I'm saddened because Whitney Houston and Aretha Franklin, those people are gone. And music, I always talk about, I don't think music will ever get back to that. Barry White, Luther Vandross, and those people. But I'm telling you, I started listening to you, and the first thing I researched and listened to you was the song you just sung, Until You Come Back to Me, when you were on The Voice.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to ask you this.
Yes.
When you were singing, two people turned around. Kelly Clarkson turned around first.
I know where you're going with this.
And then John Legend turned around.
Mm-hmm.
And you chose Kelly Clarkson, but you ended up being coached by both of them. That's my first question. The second one I'm going to say to you is this. The video you made, and I wrote it down, You Already Won with the lady in the hospital.
Yes.
It was simply fantastic. And if any of you guys haven't seen it, you really need to see it. And then I looked at you on 2019 called Cross Battles, and you sung the song, I put a spell on me. Mm-hmm. What I'm gonna say to you is simply this. At night, I used to have a hard time going to sleep at night. And I have Gladys Knight that I play on my Alexa every night, and it puts me to sleep. It's 8 songs. The End of the Road is the first song. But I have to tell you, after listening to you, every song that I listened to today, I told Alexa, add it to my favorites. So I'm going to bed at night with Beth. And that's all I gotta say.
Hey, look, Beth, that's how
you are young Gladys Knight. When I listen to your songs today, and especially that song that you made, Free, you must have wrote it because it sounded like you were talking about your life.
You know what? I wish I had paper to write down everything. I got so much to say. So, I'm trying to remember everything you said.
Tell me about Free.
Yeah, okay, so Free. I started out singing background, and I suffer from extreme stage fright. So that song was describing me making the transition from stepping out from the back to stepping out in the front, and me being free enough and trusting myself to do it. Okay. So that's what Free was about. Also, I was influenced because my mom was kind of fighting with her sister at the time. So it was like, y'all need to be free from this drama. So it was a combination of that, the influence from my mom, And then me saying, okay, you need to step out and do what you know God has called you to do. You are holding yourself back. So it's, you know, that movie, 20 Feet from Stardom, like I really relate to that because I've been doing background for a long time. I still do background. And I have to change my mindset from when I'm doing background because I have to pull back because the show ain't about me. And then when I'm doing the lead, I got to be extra and I have to give it all. So it was just a matter of me feeling comfortable enough to give myself to the people so that you could take me home and I could go to bed with you. You see what I'm saying? It's a whole thing. It's a thing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
If I would not have given myself, you would not have heard me and heard of me and heard the music. So yes, Free was a song that was very organically written. It was truly from the heart. And just even, you know, the bridge part where it says, I'm captured no more. I want my dreams that were stolen, washed away and never came up on the shore. It's like all the things that I've always wanted, they've always been available to me. But I had to step out and go get them. They've been right there. They've been there. And as soon as I started walking into who Beth really is, things have been happening, the door's been opening, but I was restricting and restraining myself. And I had to learn that and figure that out.
Wow. Okay. I want some of this. I want in on some of this now.
Oh, but let me tell you one more thing too.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You mentioned You've Already Won. That song was about my experience on The Voice.
Okay.
And that was my interpretation because I only made it to like the top 34, 35. And people kept telling me, they voted you off too soon. You should have won. But you kind of did win because you made it to the show. You know, so that was something that people kept telling me. And I was like, yeah, you already won because you made it to TV. It was very, you know, it was 100 and some thousand people that auditioned for the season that I was in. And then they brought it down to 100 and something. And then they knocked it down to 80. Then they knocked it down to 50. Then they knocked it down and they kept knocking out. And I stayed, you know, a little while on there. But the fact that I made it to TV and the impact that it had on my career was worth it for the time that I was there. So You've Already Won is about my time on the show. And I'm happy to say that song has been picked up by an independent film. So it's on a soundtrack now. And actually in like 2 weeks, I'm going to have a private screening of the movie so that I can hear my song on the big screen. So I'm excited about that.
All
well,
right.
I will tell you, both of the videos you did with that song were fantastic. You did one of a black like jumpsuit. And then the other one.
Oh, that's Let Me Be.
And then the other one you did was in the hospital with the lady laying in the bed. And she ended up getting out of the bed and pushed the wheelchair away. That was a fantastic video.
Thank you. And you got to check, there's a video for free also.
Okay.
So yeah, check that out when you get a moment. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We'll make sure that that gets shown on the interview when we get finished. And I will tell you this, Beth.
Yes.
Spivey saying these things, that's high praise, okay?
I felt it.
The threshold is high.
I got a little choked up. I had to pause for a minute.
I'm being honest with you.
Thank you.
Gladys Knight could sing to me all day, any day. And when I heard you, it was like I was hearing a young Gladys.
Oh, that
it's not like you're singing. A lot of people sing.
Right.
A lot of people talk to you. And when you ever listen to Gladys, it's like she's sitting there having a conversation. And that's the way Beth sings.
And that is exactly what I do. When I perform live, I try to interact with the audience as much as possible and make them feel like we're having a conversation. And you know what? Last year, Mother's Day, I opened up for Gladys Knight and Patti LaBelle here in Detroit at the Fox Theater. So just to be able to do that, I had been in their company before, believe it or not. I went out on tour with the OJs and Gladys would do some shows with the OJs. So I got a chance to meet her before. And then when we did the show, she was like, like, oh my God, she remembers me. So she's such a sweetheart, such a sweetheart. But yeah, thank you. Just to be in their space. They're iconic women that have paved the way in R&B music for artists such as myself. And I grew up listening to them. In fact, even when I sing with KEM, I do a tribute to Patti LaBelle in his show. So, you know, I was just outdone. I was pinching myself the whole day. Like, yeah, it was amazing.
Well, you know, the natural follow-up question for me is, who are some of the other artists who have influenced you?
My absolute bar none favorite is Whitney Houston.
Okay.
So after Whitney, it would be Gladys, it would be Patti LaBelle, and I would say I like Barbra Streisand too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah.
Alaska, what you got?
Well, I mean, I'm just taking it all in. I mean, this is a great show. I'm just trying. I'm enjoying the show. I want to keep watching, but I guess I better ask another question. But I'll tell you this: considering everything you just mentioned about all the things you do, all the places you've traveled, all the shows you've opened, all these different things. I mean, the average person has difficulty with work-life balance, just doing a 9 to 5 in the same city every day. Okay. And I know I have a 9 to 5, and for the past few years, I have a daughter who graduated from high school a couple of years ago, but I also have an aunt who's in her 80s in a nursing home, and I'm the power of attorney for her because she never had children. And, you know, trying to balance out, you know, 9 to 5 management responsibilities on a job, trying to help a young lady find her place in the world, and then having to bounce back and forth to an aunt who's in her 80s in a nursing home, trying to make sure she's happy as well. I mean, just trying to get that work-life balance is very tough. And I was just trying to figure out, how do you do it? You know, being in different cities and having this long, wonderful career, how do you make it all work? And then you come back, and the end result seems to be all these wonderful things and experiences you've had. Can you tell us about that?
Well, I got to add Aretha Franklin to my list of favorite songs.
All right.
But Aretha.
All right.
You know, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I keep wine in the house, so when I come home, right, I believe in a good woosah, a good relaxation.
All right.
But I have a lot on my plate, and I have a full plate. I'm married. I'm the power of attorney and caregiver for my mother, who lives with us, and she has dementia. But my mom's dementia is kind of weird because she, you know, she's aware, and then I believe she's not aware when she don't want to be aware. She kind of, you know, I'm telling you, it's the weirdest thing, because she'll, you know, she won't respond to anybody, and we talking to her, and then all of a sudden I look at her, she winks her eye at me. You know, so my mother, you know, but it's a lot doing that, putting music out, traveling. Like, I have to travel this weekend. So really my life is a constant plan, like as much as I can plan. So like this week, you know, I'm doing laundry all this week. I'm cooking and prepping food for the house. So that my mother has food to eat and my husband has food to eat. And I'm also packing. And then I've got rehearsal every day. And I'm grocery shopping. You know, I've had, you know, a couple other interviews this week as well. I just have a calendar and I plan, and because I love what I do so very much. I love being a daughter. I love being a wife. I love being an artist. I pray a lot and ask God to just orchestrate my steps, and you know, like, if it's something I absolutely can't do, then I have to learn how to say no and reschedule some things. And then the things that I can do, I do. And I understand that the gift that I've been given and the opportunities that I've been given, I don't take them for granted. And I know there's a million people that would take my spot. And so I don't take this for granted. And so I try to do everything with a smile on my face and just work it out. I just try to juggle it. I mean, that's the only thing I can say. I just, and then I ask for help when I need help. I can't take care of my mother by myself. So I have 3 caregivers that come in and rotate. I have to make sure I oversee. My husband oversees, but I ask for help. If it's something I can't do, I say, hey, I can't do it. I got to delegate. But what I can do, I do it with a smile.
All right. Well, appreciate that. And
I give the longest answers. I'm sorry, but yeah.
No. That's okay, because I'm still marinating on the impact that you've had on Bill over here. And I'm thinking, what in the world? So, which makes me ask, when people listen to your music, what do you want them to get out of your music as a result of listening to you?
That answer has evolved from my first album to my second album and me now thinking about my third album. My first album, I just wanted people to know I could sing because I love to sing so much, and then I found that people are nosy and that wasn't enough. They want to be entertained. So I'm like, okay, now I got to tell them a little bit more. I got to give them a little edge, give them a little spice, put a little cayenne pepper on it. So on the second album, I started to give stories and tell, and all the stories are true. Give a little more insight. That's why the album is called Get to Know Me, so that people can get to know me a little better, because I come across really, the girl next door. I'm everybody who knows me, they're like, oh, Beth, she's so nice. She's always, and I am, but nobody knows the spicy side to me. So Get to Know Me is giving that. And I just want people, when they hear the album, I want them to feel like they can relate to what I'm singing about. I want them to be able to say, okay, she's not just a singer, she's a real person, and these are some of the things that she's gone through and experienced in her life. And I want them to feel like they can connect with me and that I can sing all at the same time.
That Get to Know Me album, it seemed like it was you were trying to do like a 1990s throwback or something.
Totally. I love the 90s. That's totally 90s. And my producer, Marcus Divine, is a 90s producer. He did a lot. He had so much influence on 90s music. And that's one of the reasons why I worked with him. Because I told him, I said, my vision is if Aaliyah was still alive, what would she be doing at this time in her life? What type of album would she do? And I wanted that kind of feel, that 90s throwback, but with, sprinkling a little 2000s on it. So yeah, you're absolutely right. It's very 90s influence, very much so.
We will be interviewing your producer, Marcus, next month.
Yes, he's amazing. He's my producer. He's my right hand. He's my road manager. He works with me, helping me decide everything. Like, I don't do anything without running it past him. So, yeah.
All right.
You're going to love that interview with him. He's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
CJ, you good? You got anything?
Yeah, I have one more that I actually wanted to ask. With your music being kind of rooted in, like you said, the 90s old school vibe, even having like the essence of like the Motown and all of that classic, the best era of music, R&B. What is your opinion on the current state of the music industry and things like streaming and TikTok, and how modern artists have to promote in this modern landscape?
It's terrible. So let me tell y'all. So, and that's why I can't wait till you guys interview Marcus, because he's doing something totally off the grid with his music. But, first of all, the music doesn't even sound right. And the fact that people can put their own music out now, there's no gatekeeper as to who's mixing, who's mastering, who's making sure that it's even radio quality, all of that stuff. So it's just, hey, I'm gonna put out a song tomorrow. And that's what they do. They just put a song out. And so that's the first problem. The second is with the streaming, artists are not making any money. And then it's taken away from the record labels what they used to do to really put in and pour into quality artists and give quality tours now. Now you're seeing tours with 19 people on them. You know, it's just a whole thing, you know, where things are just handled. It's a cattle call of music to me. There's no structure. And then you have a few artists that were signed to labels that are now independent. And then you have a few that are still signed to labels. Like I'm working with KEM, he's still signed to Motown. But you know, you just really don't, it's just a free for all. It's just put music out and see if you can get on your social media and get naked and get people to buy your music. I mean, that's what it seems like to me. It's not a structure. It's no integrity. It's just, and there's only a few artists that are still maintaining the integrity of R&B music. And I just feel like, you know, it takes up a lot of time because you got to be on social media all day. You know, I got laundry to do and dinner to cook and, you know, and I'm on there posting, please buy my record, please, you know, and I understand that you have to promote yourself and that's cool too. But I just feel like there's no gatekeepers, there's no structures, there's no rules, there's no borders. It's just get in where you fit in.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
so therefore the quality artists get lost in the shuffle. You know?
Yeah. I found a way like this, the way the social currency has kind of integrated itself with the music. Like I said, the meritocracy of what used to be artist and talent development from labels, as you said, and things like that, has kind of gone for just how much attention you can get, more so than the music.
Yeah, and it's not good. But the one thing I can say, fortunately, is that I had always said that if I could have ever picked an era to put music out, it would have been in the 90s. And, you know, hence the influence on my album. And I'm actually working with a artist that came out in the 90s. So I'm like, I'm having a great time. So I opened for Genuine a couple months ago and he heard me in his management and they kind of snatched me up and they're like, okay, you coming with us. So I love that. And I'm grateful. And I've been doing shows with him. But he's that artist and in that era that I want to be in. So I was like, okay, God, you got jokes. Because I wanted to be a 90s artist and I'm not a 90s artist, but you have paired me with one of the hottest ones from that time. So I'm just having a ball. I'm just riding away, going with the flow.
Okay. That is, man, you know, you making me look like a genius, Beth. I look like a genius booking you. People are like, I am the smartest man in the room, daggone it.
You are. Yes, you are. So I'm just having, I'm just enjoying where I am career-wise, and I don't take for granted the opportunities I've had. You know, you asked me who were my favorite artists, and, you know, I said Whitney Houston was my favorite. I mean, I actually got a chance to work with her, and that was something I never thought would happen. But it did. And when she did the remake of Sparkle, they filmed it in Detroit and they filmed it walking distance from my home, literally, like no joke. And I got cast as her body double and her stand-in in the movie. So I got a chance to work with her. And it was about a month for her film time for the movie. And just, you know, I got a chance to take a beautiful picture with her. I got a chance to speak with her. And it wasn't a lot of correspondence because we're working, but I did get a chance to talk to her. And I think the thing that I wanted to tell her the most was that she and I have the same birthday.
Whoa.
So when I told her that, I'm like, I'm kind of you know, kind of, sort of, you know. So, you know, and my mom's name is Elizabeth and she's, you know, Whitney Elizabeth. And also we share the birthday of August the 9th.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Great people. August 7th. Great people. Leos. Let's do it.
You know, Beth.
That's right.
I'm July the 31st. I'm a Leo.
Oh, you a Leo too.
I'm a Leo too.
You're also a businesswoman, Beth. We got to talk a little bit about business. What have you learned and what can you share with people about the music business, the business of music? We ain't got enough time, do we?
You cannot be in this business to make money. you have to be in this business because you love it.
Wow.
And I love it. And that's all I can say. I try to learn as much as I can until my head starts hurting. And then I'll call my manager and he'll send me stuff. You need to do this. And I'll send it right back. I said, I'm $1 that's been spent, sir. I can't do this today. And he gets, you know, where I'm at, but he walks me through a lot of things that I don't know. But the main thing is, if you're getting in the music business, you don't get in it for money. You get in it for the love of the creating and giving of yourself and giving of the art. And then if you stick with it long enough, about 20 years, no, if you stick with it long enough, you know, eventually you will see some return on your investment. You know, I'm starting to see return on the investment. But I put my first album out in 2017. You know, it's 2024. And that really is not a long time for me to have put it out. Nobody knows who I am. And then now I'm actually opening for Genuine and I'm opening for KEM. So it takes a lot of time, but it takes the knowledge of knowing this is a business. Make sure your paperwork is in order. Make sure you have somebody to represent you properly so you won't get used, and building relationships, all of that. It's just so much. It's so much. It's so much.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
All right, fellas, in the time we have left, let's do a final call here with Beth. What do you got?
Beth,
Let's just go around go ahead, Spivey.
Beth, how was it working with Kelly Clarkson and John Legend?
That was the question that I didn't answer for you, because you wanted to know why I picked Kelly over John.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you go on a show like that, it's a reality show. Mm-hmm. And it's all made up. They already know who they want. And you know that after you get in there a little bit, you start looking around, right? But you still have to understand that to stay on that show is a game of chess, not checkers. So I knew if I had two people that wanted me, and John turned around first, Kelly turned around second, I went with who wanted me second because I knew the first person would always still want me.
And you ended up working with both of them.
Right. So Kelly did pick me, and then John ended up stealing me when I did not win the round that I sang. So I understood that and was very strategic in how I did that. Working with them both was great. Kelly Clarkson had the knowledge of being on a show like that. So she was able to kind of mentor me, us, our team, and what it's like being on a television show singing. Then when I got on John's team, he worked with me more so on the feel and the interpretation of songs and what you give to the people. And so I still remember everything that they taught me. It was great working with both. And what I take away from that mostly is that John Legend is an EGOT winner. And if he can do it, so can I.
Tell people what EGOT, because not everybody knows. So tell them.
He has won an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. And those are the acronyms. Those are the letters for the acronym EGOT.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't research that.
That's why I said tell them.
And Jennifer Hudson is an EGOT winner as well now.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think Whoopi Goldberg, I think.
I just know Jennifer and John, but
yeah. We'll double check.
Whoopi maybe. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Folks will fact check me, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing that was interesting. I saw in your bio that you were a member of SAG.
Yes.
And so I went in and did some research on SAG, and that's kind of a touchy thing as to, you know, in the research that I did, when you become a member of SAG, there's certain jobs that you can't get if you're a member of SAG because they are union jobs. And so with SAG, you're a member of the union, so you can't go after non-union jobs and production jobs. And I thought that that's probably a very tough decision you have to make, because I looked at one of the videos and the guy talked about, he said, I believe he was in Ohio, and he said, being in Ohio was one of the states that was a union state. And so he was saying, you don't want to become a member of SAG when you live in some of the states that are union states or not right to work states, because then you can't go after certain jobs. So I'm sure that that was a tough decision for you.
It really wasn't, because at the time that I signed up for SAG, I was doing national television work. I had to. So I had done an appearance on the Steve Harvey Show.
Okay.
I had done Dancing with the Stars. And then I did The Voice. So it was kind of like I did not have a choice, because once you do a national television show and you're not signed up to SAG, you become what is called SAG eligible.
Mm-hmm.
And so you get a SAG ID number. And so the next job that you do, if it's on a national television network, SAG is calling you. They're like, okay,
yeah.
So, you know, you're kind of, you know, stuck.
Okay.
So, which helped, because when I did The Voice, I got paid very well for doing that show. And people don't know that. People don't know, but I'm not on the show no more, so I'm gonna spill all the tea. But yeah, you get paid.
You get paid according to the number of episodes and that type of thing.
Yeah, well, you get paid, and then the reruns. I mean, a year later, I got several checks, couple $1,000 checks from rerun and re-airing and everything. So, and it, you know, on YouTube and everything. So it was a benefit for me to do or to do myself. Well, I had to do it anyway. Like literally, when it was time for me to air my episode for The Voice, they called me and they were like, you owe us some money. Like, cause I had to pay my dues. I hadn't paid my dues. And they called me. Like, they came for me. Yes, they did. They were like, you know, you got to pay your dues or you can't do the show. Like literally. So I said, okay, so I had to do it. I did not have a choice. So SAG is one of these things that once you're in it, but it does look out for you. They make sure you get your money. And I have every intention of doing national television again. I don't know when, I don't know where, but you do a movie, if I do another television show of some sort, yeah, SAG will run, they'll find out and they'll run my number and they'll make sure I get paid right too.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah.
Alaska, we're going to close it out with you and CJ. What you got?
Oh, man. You know, like I said, I'm still enjoying the show, man. My eyes off you
guys.
I'm just watching the show. Like, this is a good show. Okay. Well, hey, Beth, let me ask you this. We done learned a lot about you tonight. And based on your experiences, and like you said, hey, you put your first album out in 2017, and now it's 2024. Is it anything, looking back upon your career to this point, good or bad, that you would change if you could do it all over again?
If I could do it all over again, I would have put my album out much earlier and believed in myself much earlier. If I could change.
Now.
Say that again. Say that again, sir.
Brothers believe in you now, and I'm sure the rest of the country will believe in you. So I'm going to snatch this album up, and you know, but really, thank you so much for joining us. And like I said, you know, we're going to stay tuned and see what happens with Beth. So that's all I have. But thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Before I turn it over to CJ for the final question, I got to follow up with this. I would have believed in myself more. Say more about that.
You know, I've always wanted to sing and I've always loved singing. I just did not. I was in my own way. You know, I just was worried about, oh, are they gonna like me? Are they gonna like how I sound? Are they gonna like how I look? Are they gonna, you know, I was too much worried about what other people were thinking, and I really wasn't developing myself. Now, through the whole process of me getting to 2017 and putting the album out, I was still singing. I was doing musically inclined things, but I was strategically keeping myself in the back because I was too insecure and too afraid. So I said, well, I'm gonna sing, but I'm gonna sing a little bit. And I'm gonna sing just enough so they know I'm here. And really, I'm supposed to be out in the front. I'm supposed to be doing what I'm doing right now. Now that I know that, y'all better watch out.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't know it before. And that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah.
To quote the great philosopher, Cat Williams, haters hate. Let them do their job.
That right.
CJ, final question. Close us out, CJ.
Sure, I really appreciate that previous answer too. As somebody who plays music and has gone through a similar thing, I feel like a lot of musicians go through that confidence struggle of, should I just be a background guitarist? Are the songs that I wrote even good enough? Are people going to like them? A lot of people get stuck with the perception of the audience. Am I good enough? Rather than just putting in the work and really believing in your craft and your songs. So I would ask, what advice would you give to any artists who are struggling with that confidence, and how did you help you overcome that to step out from the background and to fully shine in the way that you knew you could?
That's a great question. So one of the things that happened was I got sick and tired of being sick and tired of myself, because sometimes you feel something on the inside bubbling up and you don't know what to do with it. And I got sick and tired of feeling like that and knowing that I was sitting on a gift. That's the first thing. And then when I got sick and tired of being sick and tired, I went and sought after people who I felt I could work with and could nurture my talent and my gift to help me. So to me, it's really, really crucial about the company that you keep. I wanted to be around people who wanted to go up. I wanted to be around people who understood what big and great was. I wanted to be around people that understood that being confident is not a bad thing, and that I didn't always have to humble myself and look down on myself. It was okay with saying I did good and I did great. And they would nurture that talent in me. And once I realized that I wasn't around the right people, then I started getting around people who believed in Beth. And I was very honest and transparent with them to let them know I had struggles with believing in myself. And once I did that and I asked for help, now I did humble myself, because I was saying there's nothing wrong with being humble, but you got to be careful when you're humble. I humbled myself to ask for help. And I started getting vocal teachers. I started getting lessons on performing. I got great producers that I felt could understand what my gift was and to help bring it out. And once I made those changes in my surrounding and in my environment and changed my mindset, then the wings came out. So a lot of times it's your environment, it's your surroundings. And if you get around people who are not trying to help you, but they're trying to pull from your gift and not pour into your gift, a lot of times you sit on your gift and you don't know how great you really are.
And here's one of the videos that Mr. Spivey just loves. In fact, we all do. Take a look.
For 365, you stay on my mind all the time, and I'm always wondering what if or what we could be. I smile at all the possibilities. Sorry I ran. I had so much fear because I've been hurt before. Now that I'm let down, my God, I wanna be here, 'cause you make me say ooh, 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 and I can't speak. You got me saying ooh, ooh, and I'm so weak. You got me saying ooh. For nothing, I'm satisfied with the way that you love me, how you provide everything that I need. I can't take it. I'm so mad about all the time I've wasted. Sorry I ran so long. I had so much fear, 'cause I've been hurt. 'Cause you make me say, ooh, ooh, and I can't speak. You got me saying, ooh, ooh, and I'm so weak. You got me saying, ooh, 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 you made me say, ooh, baby, I get so speechless whenever I'm next to you. When we get in love, ooh, when we get in the groove, I swear to God, you know just what to do to make me say. You got me saying, ooh, 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 do it again, baby. And when you look at me, and when you're touching me, and when you're loving me, ooh, oh, ooh, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, you make me say, ooh.
Ooh.
And on that note, we're going to leave it right there for now. This, ladies and gentlemen, we are the Thought Brothers. We have Beth in the house.
Yay.
And for now, we are out of here. Thank you, Beth.
Thank you for
Good night,
having me.
Beth.
Right.
Good night.
Yeah.
Baby, won't you let me? I wanna be everything you'll ever need. If you let me be, let me be, oh, let me, oh, let me be.